Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Friday, February the 14th. Hey, let me say this. Since I said February 14th, it made me think about what today is. Happy Valentine's Day to all of the beautiful women out there. To all of the beautiful women. All of you are beautiful women. Really, I want to say happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And to you, Shannon.
Oh, thank you.
Happy Valentine's, everyone. So it's a wonderful Valentine's. This is the first Valentine we've had in 4 years that things are so on the up and up. Things look so great right now, so grand. Well, if you're tuning in for the first time, please like, follow, subscribe. Please like, follow, subscribe. You bless me by doing so. And for everyone else who's tuning in, even if you're watching this on the replay, can you bless me by hitting the thumbs up? Hit the thumbs up. It really works. It actually does. And I've constantly told people that you have to hit that thumbs up, and it's just really something simple. I know some people like, nah, I don't feel like hitting the thumbs up. But please, please, please. That's the easiest thing. It's free to do. And it doesn't get publicized anywhere that you hit the thumbs up for me. It doesn't. So you don't have to worry about, oh, you hit the thumbs up on Will Johnson. That means that you're saying that you like what Will Johnson is producing. You like what Will Johnson is saying. So if you don't mind, please hit the thumbs up. It's private. It's almost like a vote. It kind of is like a vote. But the more you hit the thumbs up, the more people will tune in. Okay, let's get on with it. The cash cow. Oh, wait. You know what, Shannon? Part of the reason why the left is so upset about what Elon Musk is doing is because the cash cow.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yeah.
cash, huh?
Oh, yeah. Their
The
money.
cash, yep, the cash cow is about to dry up, and it's almost like the Democrats are having to say bye bye to the cash cow.
This has nothing to do with, you're a victim. The American people, all their information is being released. The funny thing is, or the fact is that their kickbacks are going to be exposed, and Trump and Elon are going to know who's been making what money from who, because we know it's more than just a salary that they're making in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they figured out how they can put money into different programs, and then according to President Trump, that money would go into these programs, and then they would get kickbacks. Basically, the money would go in, then it would circle back around and makes it round, and then it would come back to the people who were advocating for pushing it through. Kind of like what Congress has been doing, especially Nancy Pelosi. And you notice Nancy Pelosi's been really, really quiet here lately. Maybe because she had her hip surgery because she fell down.
I've seen her out and about,
I've
though.
seen her out and about, but have you seen any press conferences with her?
Now,
She
here
could.
lately, since Elon and Trump have gotten into office, she has been unusually quiet because even Trump's first go about, she was everywhere.
Oh,
She
she
was
was
saying that he wasn't
everywhere.
a legitimate president, all this stuff. So I think that one thing that they're going to see is the cash cow that she's been cashing from, and she knows it. I think she knows her extra money is going to go away. But
Well,
that
I
woman
mean,
is so wealthy.
it
She has
looks
like 2 homes and
right. It looks like, according to Trump's team, is that they're going to actually start doing the auditing, and they're going to tell everybody, they're going to tell the American people how a politician, a government worker, goes into politics, go into a government position, making 175 $200,000 a year, but then they come out as multimillionaires. What is that? So that's what they're getting ready to expose. And Nancy Pelosi is extremely quiet about all of it. I want y'all to listen. I do have a couple things I want to share with you. Here's the first one where this young lady on President Trump's team, and she's explaining how they're going to look into a whole bunch of people, how they were making money. And President Trump mentioned that, I thought he was going to do it yesterday, but he mentioned that there's a lot of people and their names are all in it, how they were making money, and they're going to get exposed.
hey, well, I've just put up the hotline, so we'd love for you guys to call in and give us your thoughts of everything that's going on right now.
Yep.
So give
Yeah.
us a
Give me a
call.
call, 319-527-3453. And as I always say, I don't bite that hard. So give me a call. Give me a call. I just ask that you keep it PG-13. Okay. PG-13. Listen to this.
If we want to save money, people are going to get upset. Why are they getting upset? Because we're taking money out of their pockets. The best thing that Elon Musk is going to do is going to look at people's salaries and say, okay, if you make X amount of money and you're worth $68 million, we're going to look at why that is. And that's really the bottom line, because we could talk about everything, every executive order, but there is a panic in D.C. at this moment where I now live, and it is very simple. We are cutting them off from their funding. And that means politicians, not just saving taxpayer dollars. And that's where the panic is coming from. It's pretty basic. In our administration, we have a tremendous amount of billionaires who are successful businessmen. And I could name them all, but we know who they are, who have taken a leave, sold their companies, walked away from their lives to sacrifice to help America be great again. There are many. Many. Now, Elon's become a target for one very simple reason, because he is cutting the funding to these politicians who have put their bureaucratic, personal financial gain and interest above the American people. That is the difference. That may not be felt by some of the other people that are in the administration that have done the same thing that Elon does, that are incredibly successful billionaires. But they are targeting him because he is cutting their lifeline, their financial. Listen, Nancy made how much money? And we're going to go down the line of looking at all these people. There is no reason, as a federal employee, me included, I shouldn't walk out richer from the federal government. That should not be the case.
No,
and I open you up to look, because it's not going to happen. You don't do it. The only reason they're screaming about Elon, it's very simple. Nobody has said it yet, and I'm going to say it. It's because they're hitting their pockets. Only reason they're screaming about Elon. They're not screaming about Howard Lutnick. They're not screaming about Bergam. They're not screaming about those billionaires. They're screaming about him. And that's because he's going in and hitting where it hurts. So you know what happens when you scream and when you sing songs outside at a rally, which, by the way, what are you doing on the American taxpayer dollars creating songs against the Republican Party? It's bizarre. But when you're doing things like that, that says to me one very simple thing. We have hit your Achilles heel, and we will continue to hit you. We will look at why our children are not educated. We will look at why our children have an increase in ADHD. We will look at why our borders are not safe, why our security is crazy, and why there is fentanyl crisis right now in our country like we have never seen. Because illegal immigrants were supposed to come in and vote for Kamala Harris, but it didn't work out for them. So they are panicking.
Yep.
And Elon may be triggering just a little bit of insecurity, which is that they are worried about us looking at exactly what they've done and exactly how much they've made. And that is now stopping.
They're terrified. Everything that they've done is about to come out and be exposed. Where's Fauci? Everything, all this money laundering that they've been doing, and that's what it looks like, right? That's what all this money going out. And I've been talking about this multiple times. They're not concerned about where the money has been going. They're concerned about the money stopping going out to this fraudulent activity, to this corruption. I've constantly talked about it. All right, the phone line is open, everybody, 319-527-34. We are live. It is February the 14th, 2025, and it's Valentine's Day. So give me a call. And I'd like to know what you think.
We got a contribution on Pilled by Ohio Kimmy. So thank you, Ohio Kimmy.
Thank you so much, Ohio Kimmy, for those pills. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so I do have more for you. And here's another one. There was a press conference basically talking about all of the fraudulent activity and all this money that they found. And again, none of the government state media, none of the liberals, the Democrats, not a single one of them are saying, oh my goodness, money went to a transgender opera. This should have never happened. Have you heard any of them say that that's wasteful spending? None of them said anything about it. Listen to this one, because they're talking about more information that's coming out of USAID, the Treasury, how this money was going out and spending it. And then, wait a minute. And then we would constantly hear the Democrats saying, oh my goodness, Elon Musk is going to take away your Social Security, going to take away your Medicare, which is a bunch of BS. All Elon Musk can do, once again, for the last time, all he can do is report his findings. He can't change anything. He can't do anything other than tell President Trump what they have found. Listen.
DOGE just for a second. Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marcia Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise that
He's delivering on a promise. He's delivering on it. This is what you call draining the swamp, right? What's been keeping the swamp going? What's been keeping the swamp alive? The cash cow, their money pit. Well, President Trump has turned it off like a spigot. He's turned it off, he cut it off, and now they're all upset. And this is what they're upset about, that their money flow is ending. You know, this is, and apparently through USAID, this is one of the reports that first came out, allegedly that AOC was even getting some of her campaign funding via USAID. So if it was happening with AOC getting her campaign funding, this would mean that many other Democrats were getting a lot of their funding by us. So what it ultimately what it comes down to is that when you paid your taxes, you were helping AOC with her campaign. When you probably would, I don't know anyone who would vote for her. I don't even know anyone who did vote for her. How did she get in there? I don't know. Same thing with Gavin Newsom, the rest of them. It makes me think that they were taking our money and putting it into them. $2.5 trillion. Kamala Harris, remember that? Is there any documentation that shows that she received any money from USAID during the presidential election against President Trump? I would like to know that information. And if so, someone should be held accountable for that. Same thing with AOC. Someone should be held accountable for that. President Trump has been relieving a lot of these people from their positions in the federal government, so all of this will stop. And this is what has the Democrats all upset. They're mad because the money flow is coming to an end. You follow the money, you find the corruption, you stop the corruption, and then you see who reacts to it all. Because whoever reacts saying you need to stop doing this, those are the ones that's been doing the corruption. 100%. And then, you know what? Many of them don't even hide it. This is the reason why they were storming the buildings. This is the reason why they were out there trying to say, oh my goodness, Elon Musk, he's the problem. He's the problem. He's the problem. Just like this one here. Now, I couldn't find I didn't have time to go and look up for the full video, but you'll get the gist of this. This is on MSDNC. And on MSDNC, they're so angry. And I just knew that this was going to happen. You remember, Shannon, when I saw Elon Musk in the Oval Office, what were they going to say about Elon Musk? Immediately. He's the one running the country. He's the actual president.
You sure did say that. Did they do that?
Remember I said that?
Yes, you did.
You remember? As soon as I saw it,
Yep.
without even seeing them say anything of the sort. Now, we all know who the actual president is. It's President Trump. And J.D. Vance is the VP. And J.D. Vance he's doing a phenomenal job too. But Elon Musk is temporarily working for President Trump. It's just a temporary thing. And let me say this too. Did you know, Shannon, that Elon Musk, while he's there working on the whole DOGE thing, that he's been sleeping on the floor? Here's a multi-billionaire. He could pay and have some really nice cots come in. Those cots that really like float, make you feel like you're floating on air and it kind of rocks a little bit. He could spend the money and get some of those. But he's been sleeping on the floor, Shannon. He's been sleeping on the floor, getting the job done. And they don't want to give him any credit for that. They're just upset that he's exposing the corruption. Instead of this dude that you see up here on the top, instead of him going on there saying, you know what? I commend him for showing the waste that's been happening. And hopefully what will end up happening, the turnaround for all of this, is that we, the American people, won't have to pay as much in taxes. Can we just get rid of the taxes altogether? But it should be, this is something that's going to benefit the American people. He doesn't say that.
You know, it's weird because, you know, a lot of rich people, they have these big lavish homes. For the longest time, Elon didn't even own a home. Like
does he own a home now?
He owns, they say, a very modest home in Texas, but he did buy another home for his wives and children if they want to stay there.
Right.
It's like a compound on its own, but he just lives in a small, modest home, they say.
Yeah, at one point he was homeless.
Yeah, he would just crash.
Richest man in the world. He would just crash at, you know, friends'
house. So that
house
just shows you that these huge material things do not mean that much to him. Yeah. He could have the biggest home in the world, and he doesn't.
And let me bring up something else. Bring the split screen again. Okay, and I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna go to the phone lines. Watch this. You see what Elon Musk is wearing, right? Like, it's not a problem that he's wearing a t-shirt. He's sleeping on the floor, dadgummit, across the way from the White House. He's sleeping on the floor. Should he sleep on the floor in a suit and tie? Absolutely not. Listen to this, and then we're going to go to the phone lines.
Delivering a picture of presidential subservience, the likes of which we have never seen. The most powerless image.
Powerless image. You hearing this? He said the most powerless image. They're mad. Listen.
We have never seen the most powerless image of a president of the United States ever created by a camera. There it is. In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of me. Donald Trump is the boss of the other adults in that shot, Stephen Miller and Will Scharf, and that's why they are following Donald Trump's lead on the dress code for the Oval Office, which is the same dress code that has existed for every previous president. Elon Musk owns suits and ties. We've seen him wearing them. But today he decided to do the billionaire thing. I met my first billionaire.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because no one cares about him.
I mean, wow, you know what?
This is childish, is petty. And he's looking at, oh my goodness, Elon Musk has on a t-shirt and a jacket and a hat on, and he's sitting there with his son. It's so triggering to see that. It's triggering because Elon Musk was sleeping on the floor, and he came over there to do a press conference with President Trump. That's what's triggering.
They don't recognize a hard worker. They don't recognize what somebody looks like when they don't really care about them to look like a millionaire. He's there to do a job. And like you said, well, they say he said he's going to work 24 hours, 7 days a week until he can get
until he gets the job
because
done.
he only has so long he can do this.
Yeah. And actually on the DOGE website, they show how the countdown for DOGE.
Oh, really?
There's
Interesting. Okay, so we got a phone call.
Okay, let's go to the phone line. Hey, if you want to give me a call, everyone, 319-527-3453.
All right, caller, you're on the line.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey there, Will. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's your first name? Where you calling from?
My name is Susan, and I am from Arizona.
Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for the call. What you got?
Well, first of all, I just want to say it's been such a long time because I had to find you again because my phone got jacked. But anyway, just like yours did in Sacramento when I helped you guys try to find it. but anyways, I just think that all this anger and stuff towards Trump and the Democrats have been afraid of Trump since the first time he ran for president.
Yes.
But all these Democrats and stuff back in the day, when Trump wasn't president, they used to go to him and ask him for funds, for their politicking and everything else. So, and then it was very interesting to watch what he was trying to accomplish the first time he was in office. Now that he's in office again and he's actually doing what he was going to do the first time around.
Yep.
Now they're really mad. They're trying to say that we didn't vote for DOGE and we did vote for that because we voted for Trump and we knew who he was bringing in.
100%. And you know what? This is President Trump actually draining the swamp. Remember, because the first time it was in there, he was saying we're going to drain the swamp. We're going to drain the swamp. And they came out with the whole fake Russia dossier. They came out with all these fraudulent cases. They impeached President Trump twice. one time over fraudulent information about Ukraine, which actually was true what President Trump was doing. They still impeached him.
Exactly.
And then the second time they impeached him on hearsay information. Well, the first one was hearsay. The second one was because of January 6th. They've been going after President Trump, trying to shut him down. And they just knew that there was no way that President Trump was ever going to go back into the White House. And now that President Trump is back in there, it is game on. Why do you think Nancy Pelosi is so quiet?
Because she's terrified. They're all terrified. They're going to lose their millions of dollars they've stolen from the taxpayers under U.S. aid and whatever else they were doing. I still think that Ukraine was part of a money laundering situation, because why would you send any other country that much money if it's not coming back into your pocket somehow for a war that isn't even our war?
Yeah, and then it's been alleged that some of the equipment and some of the military surplus has been going to the drug cartel on our southern border here in America, in Mexico.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on down there right now.
Yeah, so the Democrats, not only were they funding Ukraine, but they were arming Ukraine, but they're also arming the cartel. I mean, this is crazy.
Hey, they were getting kickbacks from the cartel.
Yes.
They were getting kickback for the drug trafficking and the human trafficking that's been going on. They've been getting kickbacks from those cartels to let them do their thing over
for
the border,
years, and they were doing it through the NGOs, and that's why President Trump, he's looking at these NGOs as well, because some of these NGOs, they should be cut off permanently, never ever again, because of all the damage that they've done.
Exactly. And it's terrible, the way that they've gone about everything. You know, I don't know that it would have been so bad if somebody had actually had the guts to stand up and say no to it all and start talking. You know what I mean? And now that they're being threatened, now people are starting to point fingers at each other, which to me I think is laughable in some way, because you know, it's like the bad kids, you know, they're all blaming each other for stealing the cookies out of the cookie jar, you know. It's like, oh my God, what in the world? And Trump even said this was going to happen. They were going to turn on each other, and they are. And it's like a wild pack of dogs going after a piece of chicken on the ground, and they're all fighting over that piece of chicken, even though it probably ain't going to fill up anybody's belly, you know. But I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It really is.
People should look at Trump and his team as, I don't want to say saviors, because that's not right.
You know how I look at them? The Justice League. You got Superman.
Exactly.
Trump is Superman.
Perfect.
Then you got Flash. You got Batman. You got Wonder Woman. You know, I mean, we have all of these superheroes, right? That's how I like to refer to them. It's just like that. And they are the Justice League, and they're bringing justice back to America. Susan.
Exactly.
Yep, Susan.
And we need that.
Yep, we absolutely do. Susan, thank you so much for the call, and have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
You too, baby. You have a great one. I love you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Love you
Thanks,
back.
Susan.
Take care. Bye. All right, we got another call, Shannon?
Yep, we have Dan from Michigan.
Dan, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Man, it's Friday.
Yeah, when we talked last Friday, I told you about how YouTube was messing up.
Oh, yeah.
And I did what you said. I unsubscribed and I subscribed, and a couple of them popped up. Now I'm locked out of YouTube.
You're what? And that's the only thing that you've done?
For what? Why I got locked out of it? No, the reason I think I got locked out of it, I seen one article that about Medicare and Medicaid and how much is going overseas.
Yeah, I
Medicare
just played a video on it where they were talking about it in the press conference.
Well, I shared the video, and ever since then, I can't get on YouTube.
Really? Really? That's
I thought that was
interesting.
over.
Yeah, I thought after, you know what? I'm still hoping that President Trump is going to do a press conference and really address the big tech censorship. Now, if we're talking about stuff that they're talking about on Capitol Hill, it should be 100% fair game. We're just talking about it. We're sharing the information. Like, look at this. Look at this. It's one thing if we were just, you know, in the back room somewhere, just making up stuff and just putting it out there just to get a reaction, kind of like they were doing with Reuters. Right? You know, have you heard about that report with Reuters? Reuters got I think it was $9 million to put out actual false information. Now, see, I would understand if we were doing that.
If I'm
all
right,
we're doing is talking about what they're doing.
The same thing.
That's wild. That's wild.
But,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I shared that video, you know, where they showed, you know, hey, the people sign up for Medicare and Medicaid, and then they go back to their home country.
Yeah. You know, I'm so sick and tired of the left trying to, you know, take care of everybody else and won't even take care of their own family here in America. Won't even take care of the Americans.
I agree. I agree. I just happened to write down your number last time, and I figured I'd try calling to see if you were taking calls today.
Yep, I'm taking calls, and thank you so much for the call. Well, I'm sorry. Did they give you a time? Like, was it like 30 days or so?
It don't say nothing. It's just you click on YouTube, and all you get is, you know, a little circle saying it's trying to load. Don't have no other problems with the computer, just on YouTube.
Try. I would just be on the safe side. I would try a different browser, and just see if you can go to a different machine altogether. Just to rule it out. Just to rule it out.
Well, just to rule it out, what I was thinking, because my laptop is like 15 years old, I was thinking I'd get a new one.
You know, that might have something to do with it too. But I would do that just to rule it out. Just to rule it out. So we don't say that they're actually doing something that they're not doing. So, but hey, Dan, thank you so much for the call.
I don't know. I just think it's weird that I got locked out after I shared that video.
Yeah, it is a little weird. So but I would still just do that just to rule it out, just to make sure, sure. Well, hey, thank you so much for the call. Have a wonderful weekend, sir.
You have a great one too.
All right, take care.
All right, well, we have another caller, 9972. You're on the phone.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Carlton Raines. I'm calling from West Virginia.
Carlton from West Virginia. Thank you so much for the call, sir. What you got?
Oh, boy. I enjoyed your I missed you for a long time. I'm so happy to get back to where I could listen to you. I used to work as an efficiency expert, and I'm 89 years old now, and was trained by military intelligence on a lot of things. And I come up with ideas many, many times, and they seem logical to me. And every big city has traffic jams. I came up with a plan to solve the traffic jams without ever making any difference in the highways, excepting probably in a few turn signals, stuff like that. But if the mayors of every city in the United States would get with the manufacturers and the business community, and all they have to do is shift their starting and stopping quitting times by probably an hour. Then half an hour, one bunch would be out of there, half an hour, another bunch would be out of there, and then another bunch. This would eliminate 90% of the traffic jams in the United States. And I've proposed this to governors, and in fact, I ran for governor once, didn't go very far.
Let me
I was honest.
Let me interject real quick.
I couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, let me interject real quick. I think one of the ways that they're gonna try to alleviate all of the traffic jam that we see in the country, and that's a really good topic, is that they're gonna want to get everyone to go to a fully autonomous vehicle. And then I think that's the ultimate. So there's gonna now the way I look at this, and this is just my opinion. Let me put it out there. It's just my opinion for those that are listening. I believe that they're gonna use the fully automated vehicles as a means to get people to get in those vehicles to alleviate a lot of the traffic. And at the same time, another way they're gonna kind of give people a nudge, kind of push them towards it, is that your insurance will be cheaper if the vehicle is driving and you're not holding the steering wheel. Because at some point, and again, just to be clear, this is my opinion, I believe that they're going to say it's safer for the car to drive you than it is for you to hold the steering wheel, because there's less accidents because the computer with the sensors and everything else get involved to prevent accidents. So I see that coming as well. There's going to be a lot of changes, especially with AI growing the way that it is and the automation the way it is. And I can see it happen within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, well, you know something I want to mention about AI. You look back to the history of even in the beginning of the Earth, as it is today, but look back into the history 4 or 5 million years. It is evident to me by my training and tracking down from a thread to the rope to the, all the way up to the unit. It is evident to me that going back through the history of the world, there has been many, many, many occupations of the earth by probably humans or partial humans or artificial intelligence, because it cannot be what they are saying it is. It is impossible. And it's amazing. They say, well, history has to be rewritten again. All they do is have enough imagination to go back to the beginning and know that the world has been populated and mostly destroyed. Been mostly destroyed by water. But we'll think about this. At one time, the water on the earth was 140 feet lower than it is now. So there was no need for ships for people to go from one nation to the other.
Yeah, I agree.
Why didn't they?
I agree.
Yeah, why didn't they?
Yeah, because if you look at the map of the Earth, and you can see like South America, and you can see Africa and North America. Then you look at Europe. It's almost like a puzzle. You can see where the pieces were together. It looked like they were together at some point. I mean, it's really a trip. And because I first started looking, I'm like, wow, that's kind of interesting that they look like it's a puzzle almost.
What I'm going to say now will blow your mind. Why do we have, if we all have the same DNA, and why were people for centuries separated on different colonies called nations? These people were put there, well, we were probably just like Australia, settled by outlaws. And that's where Australia got all their people from. They were a penal colony. But you had Africa that stayed black for so long, and then you had Ireland and Scotland and all these places. They stayed white so long, and they had redhead. But now they're starting to homogenize. And I'm wondering why they were separated to start with. Because there is nothing in the food, nothing in the air, nothing in the quality. They've made me and you. You didn't know I was white, did you? But anyway,
to me it doesn't matter. I think ultimately maybe when God separated everyone based on language. Remember, because they were the Tower of Babylon. Maybe it started then.
Absolutely.
So maybe it started then. Well, hey, sir, I gotta let you go. Thank you so much for the call.
Yes, sir. I'm going to call you back because I love talking to you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Carlton.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, lady.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Okay, I want to show y'all something. This is in President Trump's office. I guess it's just outside of the Oval Office. Go ahead and split screen it.
So I think he has an office actually off of the
Oval Office.
And I think this is hanging in that
Y'all
office.
see that? Y'all see what that is, right? That is a picture, and I think at the top of it, does it say New York Post on the top of it? I can't make it out, but nonetheless, this is President Trump's mugshot. And then someone took a picture, someone noticed it because the door was open off the Oval Office, and someone took a picture and said, look, President Trump has a picture of his mugshot. So every day he walks by and he sees that picture. And it reminds him of what they did to him. And you know what? I can only imagine that they're like, oh my goodness, we want him to take that picture down. Well, they did it. The Democrats are the ones that did it. Yeah, here's another angle of it. You can bring this up here. Here's another angle of where it is, where you can see it off the Oval
Yeah, so
Office
that's where
there.
they got the picture. You can see there's another office off of the Oval Office. They say it's more of the place where they actually do a lot of the work and the calls and stuff. But yeah, he has the mugshot posted in there. And you know what? Who was it yesterday? Or somebody was saying that Trump is, or Trump's own words several years ago, said that he's a vengeful guy. And I think he's more forgiving than he used to be. But if somebody has done something against you unlawfully and you're in a position to go after them because of them breaking the law,
Yeah.
I absolutely think that you should. And I think that that's what Trump is doing. He was wrongfully prosecuted. There's actually now, emails and stuff from the one lady, what's her name? And Fannie Willis.
Fannie Willis.
There's proof that there's conversation between them and the White House. I mean, we all know that they did this on purpose, intentionally. They weaponized our government, and I think it's a great remembrance for him every single day.
So every day he's walking out of the Oval Office and going to this other office, and he sees that picture every day. That's what they did to me. That's what they did to me. That's what they did to me. You know what? President Trump he doesn't do stuff just out of the whim. He does stuff intentionally. And even something like that. And the very fact that he put it right there on the door, because he knew someone else was going to see that picture. He knew that they were going to see the picture, because the press come in there, especially like Associated Press, the Communist News Network, MSDNC. They're going to look around the room to see what they can make a story out of. Like, for example, trying to say, oh my goodness, President Trump removed the MLK bus out of the Oval Office, which was a total lie. But they make up stories. They make up these stories in the hopes that everyone else will just believe it. And then it becomes the talk of the town. Oh my goodness, did you see what President Trump did? You see what he did? So President Trump, I believe he purposely put that there so that they will see it. So that they will see it. And him being back in the Oval Office truly means that President Trump said, never surrender. Never surrender. Now, let me bring this up too. The price of eggs, they're still high in some places. And it's because of what's happening with some of the chickens, the birds, right? Because of that. Not because, just because President Trump want the gas prices to be high or want the eggs to be high. And it's not going to come down immediately. President Trump is going to have to fix what Joe Biden and the Democrats did in the past 4 years. So 4 years of mess, of nonsense, is not going to get fixed in 4 weeks. It's just not going to. And see, most of us that still have brain cells, that's not social distancing from one another, we know that it's going to take time for President Trump to do these things. And the track that President Trump is on currently, we want him to continue down that track. We want him to continue doing what he's doing. We understand we're in it for the long haul. And these next 4 years are going to go by so fast. I'm sitting there talking about it right now. It's February the 14th. Before we know it, his term's going to be over with. And America is going to be transformed into a wonderful place. And the Democrats, they're working as hard as they can to prevent President Trump from being successful. Listen to this one. Here's President Trump. This was yesterday, where they were asking him about the prices. And of course, you can see down in the captions of it, if you can bring it over, prices could go up somewhat short term, right? And we get it. We get it. Sometimes it's going to take that in order for stuff to come down.
Going with Canada, there was obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
And see right there, talking about the tariffs. Also, right, President Trump did it. I think he did an executive order saying that for all of these countries that are having the tariffs applied to us, because I didn't even know this, all the tariffs that the United States of America pays is like $340 billion in tariffs that we pay throughout the entire world of tariffs. And then the rest of the world, they only pay 54 billion as a total. So President Trump said that the tariff, now I should have got the video, but he did executive order saying whatever tariffs they apply to us, we're going to apply it to them. So now it's going to be tit for tat. And I'm pretty sure they're upset about it because they just want to continuously to milk us. But listen to this. There's a catch in this too about Canada and their governor.
Implementing those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But
did you hear it? Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he said? Listen to what Trump says about the governor of Canada. Here we go. Listen.
Dealing with Canada, there was obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have a lot of ships out there. And, you know, people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection, yes.
So isn't it interesting that there's all these videos flying around from people in Canada kicking and screaming, even here in America, saying that Trudeau in Canada is preparing for war against America. Have you seen those videos, Shannon?
I haven't.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them going around, and they're going, oh, they're taking the videos down because with Trudeau and the liberals in Canada saying that they're preparing for war against U.S. And we're the ones protecting, we're the ones primarily giving them military protection. President Trump just laid it out. So how would that work out? I know it's all talk, and the reason why they're kind of saying this is because President Trump keeps referring to Trudeau as the governor, as if, you know, Canada is going to become the 51st state of the United States of America. And I think he's only doing it to get under the skin. But if you really kind of look at it, it kind of makes sense. But it need to be broken up, maybe to four or, you know, maybe 4 different states or at least 2. But President Trump keeps, you know, poking at him with that. And they get triggered by it every time. Even the liberals here in America keep getting triggered by it. And the reason why they believe that President Trump might possibly even do it, because he renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And it should have been that from day one. 100%. All right, let me show something else with you because we're going to run out of time here. We're getting close down to it. Yesterday, there was a video where on the Communist News Network, and they were referring to Elon Musk as the male anatomy, you know, down there, right? And because they're saying, do you think calling Elon Musk a D is okay? And then, of course, you can split screen it. And, of course, this liberal, his name is Robert Garcia. He's actually on the subcommittee of DOGE. And he said that, yeah, Elon Musk is a D, okay? But when I played this yesterday, I stopped it right after that part because Anderson Cooper was talking about these yesterday. And this whole thing with big balls and all this together, I'm like, really? This is what they're going at now. But he says something right after that caught because I stopped the video. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Here's a bigger story about what he just said. Here's a bigger story. Not just him calling Elon Musk a D, him calling Trump something, a white supremacist, all the stupid stuff, the name calling, because they don't have anything. There's a bigger story in this video. I want y'all to listen to this.
Calling Elon Musk is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government.
Well, he isn't. And I think he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important and what the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country. And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee.
Did you hear what he just said? This is the key point right here.
And what the American public want.
He's saying this is what the American public want. At what point did you hear anybody say this?
Is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight.
So, what kind of weapons is he referring to? What kind of weapons is he referring to? And how is it that a sitting representative in Congress is talking about bringing actual weapons? What kind of weapons is he referring to? Is this not a problem?
Yeah, and it's interesting because this Monday they're supposed to have a whole bunch of protests at all the capitals, if you recall.
Yes, this Monday at high noon.
Yeah, they're supposed to have
So,
protests at all.
and you know what? And I've said this before, this is how they get people to start doing certain things. Remember the Summer of Love? You remember that? The Summer of Love? George Floyd was it Minneapolis, if I'm not mistaken? Right? What did George Floyd have to do with Dallas or in St. Louis or in Compton or in Miami or in Illinois, Chicago? What did George Floyd have to do with those locations? Absolutely nothing. What they did is they used it as a mechanism to get people to react a certain way to go out and be violent. And that's what we saw. They're doing it again. The very fact that he says the American people, one more time, just listen for everyone, because a lot of people, I missed this yesterday and I heard this last night. I'm like, this is crazy. You can leave a split screen too.
Harming the American public.
Listen, hold on.
And I think he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important and what the American public want.
When did we call for this? We don't want this. We don't want the violence. Say no to violence. Say it with me. Say no to violence. Come on, say it with me. Say it with me. No to violence.
Is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight.
And you could have left it there. I mean, he's talking about, really? Now, if he was a conservative and he was actually saying that, oh my goodness, did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? But in this case, he gets the pass because he's a Democrat. Where's the FBI? Oh, we need Kash Patel. And supposedly they might vote. They look like they might vote Kash Patel in Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I would highly strongly recommend that Kash Patel hauls him in and ask him a question about you talking about bringing actual weapons. What weapons are you referring to?
Yeah, well, I think these are going to really ramp up. I hate to say it, with civil unrest, because you also have right now, Eric Adams has called for the New York PD to start arresting these people that are at anti-ICE protests. And then you have Presley, who just out and out was saying she's okay with censoring the American people. You now have AOC, who may be charged by Homan with helping illegals escape ICE. He's actually talking about charging AOC right now. I hope they do.
I do too.
I hope they charge every single person that is helping people do illegal activity here in the United States. And yes, being here illegally, coming across the border, you are not undocumented. You are an illegal alien.
And
that's
you know
what you are.
Well, they're undocumented as well, but
calling
look
them
at this.
undocumented as if they're just undocumented citizens.
Yeah, like they were fleeing terrible circumstances, which is not the case.
And look at how these people are dressed. You can't tell me that something at some point might spark up.
Well, that's what's been happening. And ICE and the police department, they've been arresting these people out on the streets of New York because they've been out there and being extremely violent. See, look at this. They're arresting people. Now, it's one thing to peaceful protest, but these people, they don't want a peaceful protest. And you know the reason why they don't want a peaceful protest? Because they realize that they're not getting what they want. You ever see a little 2-year-old child, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and they don't get what they want? What do they start doing? They start throwing stuff. They start having tantrums on the floor, kicking and screaming. I want it. That's exactly what we're seeing right now with these liberals. With all of these liberals, they're doing the exact same thing because they're realizing that they're not going to get what they want.
And I'm concerned that there's somebody somewhere that, just like that young man did with the CEO of a healthcare company, somebody out there is going to say, you know what, I'm suffering so much, it could be an illegal, that might go into a public place.
Look at that.
Do something that they shouldn't do.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I know. Such disrespect.
I mean, she's close enough to be in his space. She's actually in his space. So let me show you this. And this is the reason why this is not the main reason why, but look, I do have something because these people, look, buckle up, Buttercup. Buckle up. Y'all see this? This is one of the backpacks. It's actually a shielded backpack to where it will stop and prevent certain things from coming at you. So I recommend everyone go to prepgearplus.com and check this out. It has many pockets in here. You can put your laptop in here. You can put other things in here. But the thing is, it can stop like a small round. It can stop a small round from going in. And you don't know I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't want anything violent happening. I don't. I'm be honest with you. I'm completely against violence. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Really. And it's Valentine's Day. We should all be about love, but I want everyone to be mindful about their surroundings. I have one of these beautiful backpacks, and I recommend everyone gets one when you're going out to events because you don't know how these leftists are going to respond.
You know what? When you go out to dinner,
something.
use it as your purse.
Yeah,
use it as your baby pack. Use it as anything.
Your loved one's going to school.
Because it's going to happen in a random place. It's always at a random place that you wouldn't think of. What a great thing to have is basically a bulletproof backpack.
Yes. Bulletproof backpack. Go to prepgearplus.com. Go check it out.
Your child at school? Great.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Going to school. It's perfect solution. Now, and they can hold it and crouch down up under it, behind it. I mean, I think of everything, all these different scenarios. We don't know what's going to happen, but I want them to be,
tested,
I want it to be there. I would love it for, if I had children at the young age growing up in this crazy world right now going to school, I would want them to have one of these simply because I can't be there with them all the time. And I want them to be protected.
Show them how to use it, how to cover themselves.
What to do. Yep, absolutely. It's sad that you have to practice this.
I wish they could just give these to all kids in schools. I really do. But yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But so go to prepgearplus.com, everyone. Go to Prep Gear Plus. Also, let me tell you about this other program that I've started doing myself. And this is, yes. I mean, I'm just really at awe about it, and I love the idea mainly because President Trump, one of his promises is that he's going to drill, baby, drill, and for drilling in America, that means we'll become energy independent once again, and that's what it's all about. So there's this smart money strategy. Warren Buffett just invested over $50 billion in energy. Billionaire Ken Griffin increased his oil investments by 150%. Even Elon Musk said we can't live without oil. But here's what Wall Street isn't telling you. There's a smarter way to profit from oil than buying stocks. A unique investment that allows you to collect monthly royalty checks from America's richest fields, oil fields. You're not buying shares in a company, which, a lot of people don't even want to do that. And I'm with you on that. You're getting direct ownership in oil producing properties. And you can get started with just $25. I love it. You can learn more about this #1 oil royalty play for 2025 at JohnsonOilBoom.com. That is JohnsonOilBoom.com, and discover how to collect monthly oil royalty checks starting today. Go to JohnsonOilBoom.com. Go look at the information. Go read up on it. Drill, baby, drill. Get in on it while the getting is good. And always make me think about, man, I wish I could have gotten Google and all these other companies in the very beginning. You've heard this story before. I think this is one of them. I'm going to find out. I'll let you know later on. And for those of you that join me at JohnsonOilBoom.com, you're going to find out with me. Because President Trump is not playing around.
Also, we'd like to give a shout out to a couple of people that contributed on Peeled. We got Filter Dog 1, thank you very much, and Sly Park, thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for all the blessings. And also, please go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. And if you find it in your heart to bless me, please go to uniteamericafirst.com/donate. Help me to keep my camera on. Help me to continue. Help me to keep pushing forward. Whatever God puts on your heart. That's it for me, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, everybody. God bless you. See you on Monday. Take care.
Goodbye.